Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
This is something that happened in an assisted living center back east. The people who live there have small apartments, but they all eat at a central cafeteria. One morning, one of the residents didn't show up for breakfast, so someone went upstairs and knocked on his door to see if everything was okay. They could hear him through the door, and he said that he was running late and would be down shortly, so they all went back down to the dining room area. An hour later, he still hadn't arrived. So they went back up to his room, and they found him on the stairs. He was coming down the stairs, but was having a heck of a time. He had a death grip on the handrail and seemed to have trouble getting his legs to work right. They told him they were going to call an ambulance, but he told them no. He wasn't in any pain, and he just wanted to have his breakfast. So they helped him the rest of the way down the stairs to eat breakfast. When he tried to return to his room, he was completely unable to get up even the first step, so they called an ambulance for him. A couple of hours later, they called the hospital to see how he was doing. The receptionist there said he was fine. The problem was he had both of his legs in one leg of his boxer shorts. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Merry Christmas. Oh, good morning on a Thursday, a cold Thursday morning. Good morning, I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Now, without further ado, it's time for the weather. Oh, it's cold out there. Brought to you by... Well, no, wait a minute. What am I doing? We got to get the Pledge of Allegiance on. Man, oh, man, I'm like that old guy with both legs in one hole of his shorts. Good morning. Do we have a Pledge of Allegiance person?
Yes, sir, you do.
I got a little sidetracked there.
That's okay, as long as you got back on the right track.
I did, but I'm going the wrong way.
Okay, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make sure you get your clothes on right.
Yes, that's the fact. Makes it easier to move around, doesn't it?
See you later, Doug.
Okay.
Okay, buddy. Hey, don't forget, now, I've only been doing this for 16 years. Now it's time for the weather, brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. And don't forget, look for that blue door. Tomorrow night, they're going to have that girls' night out over there. And what a great time before Christmas to learn about all the Christmas decor items and everything. You better get over there. It's only $12 to go tomorrow night, and it's just a great time. That's for the ladies tomorrow evening at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. All your carpet and flooring, kitchen construction, home decor items, whatever you need to make your house a home. Right now, here's the weather.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Here is your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. We do have about a 90% chance of snow showers for today. It's going to be breezy as well. Winds out of the east, right around 15 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 27 for today. Tonight, low of 25. For tomorrow, rain and snow showers are in the forecast. High right around 40, overnight low of 35. Then as we get on into the weekend, we've got some more snow showers as a possibility, especially up in the higher elevations. Highs are going to be in the upper 30s, lows in the mid-20s. That is your weather for us up at the ranch.
More angel dandruff, she said. Well, the weather brought to you by the great folks at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Yup. Look for that blue door. Whatever you need to make your house a home. Merv May, come on in here. Let's sell some cattle. Hurry up. Come on in.
All right. Hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get all 31, 1 31, 1 32.
That's the chant of the world's best auctioneer. I just love to hear him give that chant. Merv May, along with Cade Rogge and Lance Udy, all those people over at the sale that works for you. Burley Livestock Sale Yard, sale time 10 o'clock this morning. This morning at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. They gonna have a ripping good sale today. Woo, baby, look out. Here's just some of the cattle coming in. Lynn Higley over to Malads bringing in 40 head of mixed yearlings. Ward Dairy at Burley bringing 50 head of 1,000-pound Holstein steers. These are good ones. Joyce Ward at Malta bringing down 162 head of calves off the top of the mountain. Tom Peck over to Cary bringing in 180 mixed calves. The Hawk Ranch over at Howell, Utah bringing in a semi-load of mixed calves. Jared Schrank over to Declo. Hello, Jared. 30 head of calves coming to the ring. M.K. Urin over to Gooding, bringing in 50 head of calves. Tyler Hanson, I know him, over to Rupert, 60 head of real good 700-pound steers. Carl Horn up at Shoshone, bringing 40 head of calves. And the Elison Ranch at Holbrook, Idaho, bringing 70 head of mixed calves. Holy mackerel, and that's not all of them. It's going to be a ripping good sale today, starting at 10 a.m. And a quick reminder, next week on Thursday, they're going to have that stock cow sale. Approximately, they're going to start the sale at 10, and then at about 1 o'clock, they're going to start selling these stock cows. I talked to Merv yesterday. He said they already got about 220 head of broken mouth cows coming in, along with 130 head of young stock cows. It's going to be great at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Sale number to call, 678-9411. Merv May, Cade Rogge, Lance Udy, the sale that works for you. Merv, sell those steers.
All right. Hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get all 31, 1 31, 32, 2 1/2, 3 1/2, 134, 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 135, 50, 135 1/2, selling $1.35. Zeb Bell, get the bottom again.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't mind that kind of a price. I'll tell you, hey, Merry Christmas wishes go out this morning from the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. We're going to be talking to Kyle over there a little bit later. Now, don't forget that this afternoon, they're going to have that great big Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce community Christmas party. Say that fast 5 times. And it's going to be from 4 to 7 o'clock this afternoon at 1177 7th Avenue in Heyburn. And the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, that's today, don't forget, wishes you and yours a Merry Christmas. Along with some really nice people at La Vintage Boutique at 1240 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Oh my gosh, they got new seasonal hours. Let's see. They are going to be open, I believe, Monday through Friday from about 10 to 3:30 and Saturdays 10 to 4. Don't forget that. Awesome Christmas ideas. Many one-of-a-kind gifts. This is a great store. Great store. Glad to have them on the air. La Vintage Boutique, Oakley Avenue in Burley. Along with our friends at Dot Foods, 1541 West 27th Street in Burley. My goodness, they do so much as the nation's largest food industry redistributor. They are really good folks, and they've got great employees. They wish you from Dot Foods a very Merry Christmas. Oh, my goodness, have we got a lot to do this morning. And as per usual, I'm running a little bit late. Let's see, what else have I got here real quick? I've got some other public service announcements I'm going to get in regarding Christmas concerts and everything. I'm going to try to get those in at the beginning of the next hour, so stay tuned for that. Oh, by the way, I got to throw this at you real quick. Did you hear the Admiral at the memorial service at Pearl Harbor yesterday? Oh, it was wonderful. This man really knew how to tie all the loose ends together, and he did and said some things that were very poignant about the Pearl Harbor memorial service, the greatest generation that stood up and fought and died for our great United States of America. Key words there, stood up. And he really threw a slam, and it was well-deserved, to the punk called Colin Kaepernick with the San Francisco 49ers. Yes, I thought it was excellent that he really drilled Kaepernick for not standing for the national anthem and sitting or kneeling during the national anthem, while the soldiers and the people at Pearl Harbor 75 years ago, they stood up. They stood up and they fought back, and America fought back to keep this country free. Kaepernick, take heed. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I have no time, and I will give no clearance. I will give no allowance to anybody that does not respect our country or our flag. You will not find a better country. If you want to try, you have more than my best wishes for you to buy a ticket and go elsewhere. As a matter of fact, I'd even help you leave. A one-way ticket, of course. Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-0459. They're open 7:30 in the morning till 5, Monday through Friday. And right now, what have I got on my old thermometer out here? Let me just check real quick. I think I am at 8 degrees. That is a little chilly. Well, make sure your furnace is working efficiently. And they've got all your furnace filters over there. You can buy one or a case of 12 and save money. By golly, they are good folks. With all your electric and heating needs, man, I'm telling you, they're good. Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Okay, here, you know what's coming, don't you? Yeah, I'm going to talk about goodies to eat. Listen, we're talking pancakes here at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. Next week, we're going to be over there on Thursday for that great big old-fashioned Christmas. But how about this? I never can get through this one without drooling all over the microphone. Pumpkin cream pancake breakfast. 2 huge fluffy pancakes layered and topped with pumpkin cream, eggs, hash browns, choice of bacon or sausage links. I mean, jump in the car, warm it up, and over you go to Denny's Restaurant at 611 Overland in Burley, and also 291 Pole Line in Twin Falls. They are America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. All right, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'd like to have your calls. I'm just going to be very blunt about a subject matter this morning that needs to be addressed, and I want to get your feelings. I know I'm going to get criticized by the liberals and the left, the knotheads, etc. Why should you and I pay our taxes to a government that allows lawlessness and protection of criminals in sanctuary cities? Now think about what I just said. Why should we pay our taxes and support this open, in-your-face irresponsibility and uncivilized attitude against the law in our country and our Constitution? That's something I want you to really mull over, because I, for one, and I mean this when I say this, I, for one, really think there needs to be a taxpayer revolt in this country. And it can't be 1 or 2 people. It can't be 1,000 people out of the state of Idaho of 1.345 million, whatever it is. It's got to be a lot of people all across the United States to revolt against supporting lawlessness, illegality, and sanctuary cities. Caller, go ahead. We'll have more in just a minute. Go ahead.
Good morning, Zeb. Why in the world can't you have that commercial from Denny's after I had my cornflakes?
Okay, well, I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, that's totally inconsiderate.
Okay.
How are you this
I am fantastic. What do you got?
Well, it seems like they're fighting over now of taking away the Medicare program.
You know what, Keith,
Around.
I just want to say something, Keith. I'm on point here with the sanctuary cities and the lawlessness, and I know you've got a conviction about that story. I'd rather stay with that for a moment, if you don't mind, because I'm talking about paying our taxes to a lawless government that is allowing criminals in sanctuary cities. Give me your response on that, because that's what I'm going to stay on point with for a few minutes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. Just give me your opinion.
Well, sanctuary cities is about the stupidest thing anybody's come up with, as far as I'm concerned, because it's like sending out a flashing neon light saying, if you're illegal, come here, come here, come here.
Yeah.
And it's not fair to the people who are paying the taxes. I'd say cut off the funding for them and let your dead fish Rahm Emanuel go pound sand.
You know what? And there's the key. I don't want my tax dollars, and I mean this, and everybody should be thinking very seriously about this, about a taxpayer revolt in this country. Why should we aid and abet illegalities in our society by paying taxes to over 300 cities that use federal money? That's where our money's going. That they can break the law and make those dens of hate and crime against the laws of the United States.
Yeah, and this city of New York City of 8 million people,
Yep.
they say only 20% of the people are paying taxes.
Yeah.
The rest of them on some kind of a welfare program.
It's the biggest welfare area or state or city, whatever terminology you want to use, in the United States, and it's getting worse every day. And it's a sanctuary city. I am sick and tired of having my money, my hard-earned money, go to support illegality, criminals, and illegal aliens that shouldn't be here.
Well, to show you how far left New York City is, they said, I think, if I get these figures right, Hillary got 87% of the vote.
Yeah.
You know, these are all welfare people. They got plenty of time to vote because they don't have a job.
Yeah, and you know what, right there, that's the other issue, Keith. I don't care if you've just turned 60. I don't care if you just turned 80. I don't care if you're 30 years of age. There needs to be a revamping and a study of everybody that's drawing on the company trough of money from taxpayers to find out, A, are they physically fit? B, can they go get a job? C, why aren't they working? And D, cut them off after 60 days and let them learn how the world really is. It's tough out there, baby.
Yeah, we've got to stop these people of paying people to stand on the street and hustle people into how they can get on welfare.
Amen. I got to run, Keith, and do a commercial, but thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Don't forget Joe Taylor. This is one of the greatest realtors I've ever met in my life. And Joe's at 425 Overland in Berlin. I believe he's moved over to Riverbridge Realty. Well, they really benefited by having his expertise. Buy or sell real estate, Joe knows how to do it. And he wishes all of you a very Merry Christmas. Congratulations, Joe Taylor. Great, great guy with Riverbridge Realty. And also Clark's for Shopping, 100 East Main in Oakley. Wow, have you tried that famous sausage recipe from Grandma? Woo, baby, I'm telling you what, it is delicious. You can buy it either bulk, patties, or links. Clark's for Shopping in Oakley, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Honestly, I want people to call on this. We should say no money No money. I'm going to take heat over this. I know there's going to be those that are in power that are going to criticize me and come after me for saying this. That's fine. We should say no money on April 15th. Not one daggum dime. Until our government starts recognizing and implementing the laws that have been passed about illegal aliens and sanctuary cities, and they clean up this mess. I do not want my taxpayer dollars to go support any more, no more, nada, cities that willfully break the law, and also illegal aliens that are taking my dime and yours and living a life of luxury here on a welfare dole roll. It's got to stop. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation with my old buddy Nick Greenwell and all the physical therapists over there. They are phenomenal. They really know all the exercises, all the sports medicine treatments, and they know all about, that hydrotherapy pool, absolutely so good to get you back to where you want to be, being you. All you have to do is call Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. The number to call, 678-1191. You call them for an appointment today, 678-1191. Well, I have just a moment also, too. Don't forget Berry Equipment and Rental. They do have all the equipment that you need to get the job done right. South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Right now, you've heard me talk about this every day. It's a phenomenal deal. They're selling their rental Bobcat equipment, used rental Bobcat equipment, and they're giving you 0% interest on 48 months. Wow! They are something special with the best of equipment rentals, retail equipment sales. Yep, Berry Equipment and Rental. They do have the equipment to get the job done right. Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I think we should be calling Crapo. I think we should be calling Rish and Simpson, Labrador, everybody, and just saying enough. We need to band together on this, folks, and condemn and stop our tax dollars to going to an illegality of sanctuary cities and illegal aliens, not only on the dole, but here in our country. This got to stop. And demand answers, not just a form letter. Dear Mr. Bell, on behalf of my office. I don't want that. I want a personal remark back on a phone call, or I want a personal letter that explains it. There are over 300. Think about that. There are over 300 sanctuary cities in this United States. And they're basically saying, come on in. We don't care if you're illegal. Oh, running and on the lam from the police? Oh, well, come on in. We'll give you shelter. This is insane. And their crime rates in those cities are going through the roof because these people are protected. Caller, stand by. I'll be right there, I promise. I'm on a soapbox, and I'm mad this morning. We got to stop this garbage, and it is garbage. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Don't forget, they're right across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room. And the number to call for a hearing screening appointment, 312-0957. This Dr. Christine Pickup knows all about hearing, all about sound, and she has the only locally owned and independent hearing healthcare practice in southern Idaho. Call them for a hearing screening today. You'll be so glad you did. Mount Harrison Audiology at 312-0957. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. I figured I'd give you a break. Your blood pressure's starting to hit this.
Well, Doug, it is. But, you know, in all reality, I'm going to get a little bit teed off here this morning on this because, you know what? I do not want my money going to a bunch of lazy, a bunch of illegal people that are using and abusing the American law system and our Constitution. Do you?
No, sir, I don't. I just put yourself in the place of the citizens that live in those cities where all the shootings, like in Chicago.
Yep.
He's going to put $1 million to help fight legal fees for illegals, but he doesn't put any money to help the police force make the streets safer for the kids.
Yeah.
Back and forth to school who's trying to improve themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
And that right there is the most upside-down statement anybody could ever make, and how he ever got elected, and if he gets reelected, the people back there deserve what they're getting, but they don't need our tax dollars to do it.
yeah, but Doug, honestly, you, your dad, your family, and all your friends and neighbors and the people that do business with you, if we all banded together and said, wait a minute, on April 15th, no, you clean these messes up. Stop the sanctuary cities. Get rid of the illegal aliens on the public trough, the public dole. Stop the crime. Go after these people in Chicago. I don't care if they use armored tanks to go on the south side of Chicago and get the riffraff and the trash out of there. But I'm not going to support illegalities every day with my tax-paying dollars. Why should I?
You shouldn't. And like I've heard and read the other day, that if you've got one bee buzzing around you, you just kind of swat him and, go on about your business. But if you've got a swarm of bees, it'll make the strongest man run like heck.
Yeah, but there are those in the audience, and this is true, that right now are criticizing me saying, well, Zeb's advocating breaking the law, Zeb's advocating not paying taxes, Zeb's advocating this, that, and the other. You know what? I am, because I think that there's only one thing to do in this situation. Honor our Constitution, honor our federal laws, honor what our forefathers have blood, sweat, and tears for, and if they can't do that, who's really the illegal?
That's true. Yep. I stand beside you 100% on that. I really do.
But all taxpayers should have a revolt. There needs to be, and I don't give a rip if it's Trump in there or if it's a guy by the name of Tea Kettle Flatbush. All I'm saying is that there needs to be a revolt in this country to go back to what the laws are and what the Constitution says. And if we can't do that, who really are the bums and the distraught people of our society causing trouble? It's the illegality that's going on right now and sanctioned by our government.
Exactly, and it has went on for so long. I hope and pray old Trump will step in there and, like he says, drain the swamp, because it needs to happen. There are good and bad on both sides of the aisle, but there's more bad than there is good back there in Washington, D.C.
Oh, it's pathetic. Well, you look at Chicago, look at Washington, D.C., go right to Pittsburgh. You can go right across the country to San Francisco, whatever. These mayors that are absolutely thumbing their nose. And the guy that's doing it the worst, in my opinion, well, two guys. Bill de Blasio of New York City and, of course, not Ezekiel, but Rahm Emanuel in Chicago. They're just basically saying, hey, I don't care about the law. I don't care about what the Constitution says. I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to keep getting the federal money. Well, right there is where all of us should say on April 15th, guess again, Jack, because you're not getting a dime.
Exactly. You cut the money off, and these guys are going to start singing a different tune.
Absolutely. I'm worked up about this, but it's going to take a concentrated effort, Doug. Not just one, not 100, not 1,000, but it's going to take literally millions of people to stand up and say to the IRS and the government, you clean these messes up, we'll very much honor our commitment as taxpayers and pay the money, but not a dadgum dime until you do.
We should. But, and like you said, there's going to be people call you and criticize you for it. And there's a lot of people out there that listen to you that agree with what you're saying, but yet they still do nothing.
I know it.
And that's who I'm calling out now. Everybody out there that just sits there and agrees, yeah, and then goes about your business and doesn't pick that phone up and call your senator, representative.
Yep.
Shame on you.
There has to be a taxpayer revolt in this country. Honestly, you take the purse strings, you said it just a moment ago, and you tie off the knot in the top of your little purse string you keep in your pocket, and you say, okay, you keep up with these sanctuary cities. You keep up with these open borders. You keep up feeding and clothing and hiding and being a sanctuary for illegal aliens to come in here over and above us as the citizens that are taxpayers and avoid our rights and give them to them. No more money there, partner. You're broke until you clean up this cesspool.
Exactly. You know, and that's happened to a lot of us growing up with our parents. I mean, my parents cut off the money, and there was one time I was working in Colorado, and this was in the early 80s, about 81, something like that, when that Gilsonite mine was going on out there. And I was making $30 an hour. And I was just, oh, shoot, I was walking the big walk. And then they shut down, and a week later, I was working for $3.30 an hour.
And glad to get it.
Exactly. And you talk about humbling.
Yep.
You do that to these cities. You take that big paycheck coming in, and you cut her way down to almost nothing. They're gonna think twice.
I am sick and tired of hearing the left, and they cry like this. Oh, well, you're a bigot and a hate monger, and you're not much of a Christian because you don't want to help anybody. Hey, listen, folks, if you're any kind of a Bible reader at all, just look up 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10 through 12, and you work to eat. You work to earn your own living. Read it. Study it. That's from the Bible from thousands of years ago. I'm sick and tired of being a supporter of people that are too lazy to tie their own shoes.
Exactly it. That's exactly it. And on just another little thing on Pearl Harbor, that show you had yesterday afternoon, or yesterday morning, that was great.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
But I got to thinking, if Pearl Harbor happened today, with the attitude of all these Americans, the trophy, everybody gets a trophy, can you imagine? There wouldn't be that many people stand up and want to fight for this country like there was then. They lied on their age so they could get in the system.
Yeah, I asked that of both Larry Cottam and George yesterday, and they said almost basically the same thing you just said. I have talked too long. I got to get a commercial break in. Doug, God bless you, man. Thanks. All right. Hey, folks, call. Come on. This is not an issue to be cowardly about. Honestly, I'll stick my neck out and say we need to have a taxpayer revolt in this country because I absolutely think that we are spending money and paying the government our taxes, and the money is being used for illegalities. That is not right. It's got to stop. That's the simple way of putting it. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Mini-Cash Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley, right across from the airport with old Zach. We're trying to get Zach over here next week so he can be on with Dr. History, and we're looking forward to that. They sponsor Dr. History every Tuesday at 10:06. They've got all your carpet, they've got lumber, right to the Carter Farm. May I try that again? The Tartar Farm and Ranch gates and panels. They've got it all for you over there at Mini-Cash Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley, 878-2091. Oh, my goodness sakes, yes, sirree, Bob. Good people. And speaking about more good people, don't forget, now is the time to call Tim Vaughn at Streamline Precision and line up and get the bids for pre-engineered steel buildings you need on your dairy, your farm, your ranch, your business, whatever the case might be. Now is the time. And dairymen, don't forget, if you're thinking about remodeling or building new structures, as again I said, now is the time, so it's ready to go in the spring. Call him at 431-7314. That number again, 431-7314. Tim Vaughn, great guy. Streamline Precision, serving you. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, I just don't understand how we have let the United States of America, the greatest country, and still is, the greatest country ever in the world's history, to jump into a cesspool of left liberalism and accept the illegalities that these people are putting forth. I mean, think about it. 50 years ago, open borders, literally millions of people coming in here illegally, and then they get put on the dole that you and I are paying for. Think about it. All that's going on with these sanctuary cities. Oh, come here. It's a great big camp. We'll protect you. We don't care what you've done. You're in our sanctuary city. This is insane. And Rahm Emanuel yesterday calling this situation, and I'm paraphrasing, please don't hold me to the correct verbiage, but you're going to get the thought. He said, well, America's always been open to immigrants coming here for the American dream. Think about what that last phrase was. Always open to immigrants coming here for the American dream. Okay, but these people are illegal. I am sick and tired of hearing the dairy industry or any other business complain and say, well, we got to have the workers. Well, you know what? We've got to clean up the act of illegality in this country, and we can't just shade one color white and the other one brown, the other one gray. We got to abide by the laws. If we can't abide by the laws in this nation, this boat's going to sink. Calls welcome 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Yeah, I'm going to be honest about it. I just think we need to clean up this act. And if it means holding back the money, so be it. Don't forget Bedke Treasure Barn. Oh, my goodness sakes. They're located at 1558 Normal Avenue on the corner of 16th and Normal in Burley. What an inventory. I mean, from clothing and unique kind of furniture, even down to salon barber chairs. I mean, my goodness. And all the collectible toys. Remember, like Batman and the Supermans and the Star Trek and all that kind of stuff. People really like those collectibles. And, of course, the store is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Neat place, Bedke Treasure Barn, and they're located at 1558 Normal Avenue on the corner of 16th and Normal in Burley. Wishing you a very Merry Christmas. All right, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I really anticipated the phone lines would be lit up for this because, honestly, I don't think there's one person in my audience that calls in that would support spending money to support crime. And that's what we're doing. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, hello again. If we took these people who are coming here for the dream illegally, it becomes a nightmare for us who are paying for it. I think there should be a bounty if you turn one of these people in that is illegal and they've also committed a crime. I think they should be punished myself.
Keith, I'm just sick and tired of trying to abide by the law. Now, okay, if you go to Twin Falls today and you go on Highway 30 and you break the speed limit, you should be picked up and arrested and given a ticket, correctly? Okay. But what we're doing is saying the law applies to some, but the law doesn't apply to others. The law says that if you're living here as a citizen of this country, it's going to be tougher on you, but we're going to make amends and special allowances for those that are illegal. This whole system's upside down, Keith.
It certainly is. And, we just can't keep paying and not getting anything for our dollar.
Amen. Amen. Really, when you pay your taxes this year, April 15th, coming up 2017, sit back and really analyze. If you go to your accountant and he says, well, you owe this, Mr. Cottom, et cetera, and realize that a large percentage of that money is going to be going to perpetrate illegal activities here in the United States. That should be a crime right there.
Yeah, and like the way it is right now at our borders, they got big welcome signs. Not really, but
yeah,
I'll put them up.
Basically, yes.
Because they're coming in anyway.
Yeah.
And they don't even they're not even allowed to stop them. The Border Patrol isn't, according to what Obama has told the Border Patrol. They, lay off of these people, let them come. Because every one of them are going to vote Democratic. Every one of them.
Well, I got to do a weather forecast, but I'll tell you what, I'm really frustrated over this morning, and it's like Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark said this morning early, the time right now, it may be the final time that we have offered to get the bad guys and get rid of them, and I agree with him. Thank you, Keith. God bless you, man. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you. It's time for the weather forecast, and the weather is brought to you by the Urgent Cares. Our dear friend Kyle James and all of his staff members that are serving you at the Riverview Urgent Care, 382 North Overland and Burley, Twin Falls Urgent Care at 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin, and Jerome Urgent Care, 133 West Avenue A in Jerome. I mean, whether it's a laceration, a fever, a cough, a sinus infection, whatever, minor emergencies, major care. They're open 7 days a week serving you, the Urgent Cares. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Here is your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. We do have about a 90% chance of snow showers for today. It's going to be breezy as well. Winds out of the east, right around 15 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 27 for today. Tonight, low of 25 for tomorrow. Rain and snow showers are in the forecast. High right around 40, overnight low of 35. Then as we get on into the weekend, we've got some more snow showers as a possibility, especially up in the higher elevations. Highs are going to be in the upper 30s, lows in the mid-20s. That is your weather for us up at the ranch.
Thank you, Gina. I always appreciate that. Great weather forecast, and it's brought to you by the Urgent Cares, Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Twin Falls Urgent Care, Twin Falls, Jerome Urgent Care over in Jerome, and like I keep telling you, minor emergencies, major care. They can and they will help you. By the way, too, I want to remind you that next week on Thursday, on the 15th, we're going to be over at Denny's Restaurant at 611 Overland and Burley for an old-fashioned Christmas. Yep, at America's Diner. We're going to have the carolers from Oakley High School. I really can't wait to hear them. And great food, you know that. Prizes, everything at Christmas the way it should be and used to be at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, next Thursday, the 15th. We need some more calls. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I don't know how many of you saw this last night, but Democratic Representative Adam Schiff from California was on the Tucker Carlson show last night. And boy, did old Tucker Carlson back him up and see the deer in the headlight look on his face. He had made some allegations and said yes, emphatically, that the Russians had hacked the election and swayed it towards Donald Trump. Okay, now that was the statement that he had made. But when pressured by Carlson, Adam Schiff said, well, there's no proof right now, but we're working on it. Oh, okay, none whatsoever. Yeah, well, not right now. And this morning, I got to tell you, this is where the left is just, I think they're a bunch of ninnies that just absolutely don't know come here from Sikkim. The state of Michigan discontinued the recount in Michigan. You want to know why? Because, first of all, there's no validated reason as to having the recount. And secondarily, most of the votes they're finding that were counted wrong or whatever are going towards Trump's favor. So here's all these millions of dollars for a stupid, frivolous recount. And then there's something else on the left that I want to mention to you this morning. You know that overweight, underworked, fat filmmaker, Michael Moore? He's calling for violence. Yeah, he's calling, hear my words, he, Michael Moore, is calling for violence on Inauguration Day. He said that there should be violence in the streets against the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump. There again, the left can get away with this perpetration of absolute lawlessness. You or I called for violence? Oh, they would be walking in my studio right now. How do they get away with this? Calling for violence against the president-elect. I do not remember anybody, now correct me if I'm wrong, please, I urge you. I do not remember anybody or any group or anyone on the right from the GOP or a conservative person calling for violence in the streets against Obama in 8 or 12. Do you? The Democrats and the silly backward left, they've turned into, honestly, a pity party. And, oh, woe is us. We didn't get our way, so we're just going to absolutely burn the TP down. This is insane what's going on. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I had this old boy call me just a little bit ago, and he is a dear friend of this program, and that is, of course, Doug Martin. And I really want to urge you, if you've got starter problems, alternator problems, generator problems, go to Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair, 635 21st Street. That's also called Alfresco Road in Hayburn. Number to call, 878-4991, or after hours, 431-5282. He wishes everybody out there a very Merry Christmas. Don't you forget, he's open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair. I am shocked there's not more people commenting on this. I really am. America might have a bright spot at the end of the tunnel, if handled correctly and diligently by the Republicans in the House and the Senate, and also, of course, with the leadership of Donald Trump and his administration. But we must, absolutely must, hold their feet to the fire. I heard somebody on television this morning. I was in the other room. I could not see who it was or the comment. I happened to hear it. I was going into my office, and I heard the comment that this may be, very well, and I've said this on the air myself, the last chance to restore some sanity and the laws in this country. Might be the last chance. Calls welcome. Give me a jingle. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And you heard Gina earlier saying, oh, we're going to get some more angel dandruff, some more snow. Well, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers have all the traction tires. They've got all the tires for rain and snow and ice, all the different tread designs for your cars, your pickups, SUVs, whatever. You stop in and talk to them today. They've got all your tire chains. They've got all your, this is really important. A lot of people just overlook their batteries. You better have your battery checked to make sure it's going to start on these cold mornings. And if it's not going to do the job, they've got the best of batteries at all 7 locations. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Absolutely the best. What else did I have here? Oh, I think that Donald Trump has made some outstanding picks. First of all, he has chosen Scott Pruitt, the Attorney General of Oklahoma, to head the EPA. Oh, it's about time we had somebody get in there with some common sense. Good pick. And also, he has picked another person I think is going to be good. Retired Marine General John Kelly as his pick for Homeland Security Secretary. So much better than this nincompoop Jay Johnson that Obama has in office right now. There's a man that absolutely has no clue whether the sun is up or the stars are in the sky. He has no clue. Anyway, some good picks, and I hope they make it through with all the Democrats standing there going, oh, we're going to fight. Oh, we're going to have a filibuster. Oh, we're going to do this. Oh, my goodness, it's getting sickening. Coming up next hour, of course, we got the Chamber of Commerce report with Kyla, and then, of course, Dog Nation. At 9:30, we're going to have Rita Ramsey on the program. And other guests that we've got for this morning include Cassia County School Days, Sandra Miller, and we're going to have a good visit with Don over to Western Waste. And then at 10:30, this is what's going to be a surprise for me, too. I don't know. My guest canceled, and I've turned it over to some of the folks I work with back in Washington, D.C., and they told me they'd email me the information. I'm getting a little nervous because I don't even know who my guest is at 10:30, so it's going to be very, very interesting. We'll see. We're going to take a little break right now and let Wheels run us up to the news from CBS. Now, he and I talked a little bit this morning, and we're going to try to play as much Christmas music as we can at this particular time of the year. I love Christmas music. So stay tuned. We'll be back in about 7 minutes with more Zeb at the Ranch. Well, good morning and welcome back, Zeb at the Ranch. And I'm Zeb Bell. Thank you very much and Merry Christmas. Let me say that again with my little bells in the background. Merry Christmas. There you go. And Happy New Year. Let's see, what are we going to do first? Of course, we're brought to you by our Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and, of course, also some of our great advertisers, like Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Waste Services.
You know, they've got a great idea. I mentioned this a couple of days ago, and the folks over at Western Waste are going to be on our program next hour. Wait a minute. Yeah, next hour. I almost made a mistake, but no, I didn't make a mistake. Anyway, Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. They've got a great idea. Why not a gift certificate for Western Waste to pick up the garbage for maybe your grandma and grandpa, your mom and dad, your aunt and uncle for a year, a month, or whatever? That is a great idea, great gift idea. Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them today at either 734-6969 or 324-5849. Western Waste Services. By the way, before we go to the Chamber Report, I want to remind everybody about Quali's Electronics. These are wonderful, wonderful people at 1730 Kimberly Road in Twin Falls. Boy, when it comes to televisions and entertainment centers, that's the place to go. That's where Deanna and I go. Extended hours for Christmas, 9 a.m. to 7, Monday through Friday, 9 to 6 on Saturdays. Great deals on television, small and large. I mean, they've got 19-inch TVs all the way to the big dudes, 85-inch screens. Woo, baby, I'm telling you, and save you money. Merry Christmas from Quali's Electronics, 1730 Kimberly Road in Twin Falls. Really nice people. And last but not least, as far as nice people are concerned, we got a bunch on our program. I want to remind you about Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street in Heyburn. Yep. 678-1177. They have the warm hearts for cold noses. Yep, Dr. Bill, Dr. Liz, the whole crew. They really care about animals, large or small. They love them all. You be sure and give them a call if you need help. 678-1177, Ark Animal Hospital. Let's go to the phone line right now and say good morning to the lovely chamber director for the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. And there's a big party going on this afternoon. Good morning, Kyla.
Good morning, Zeb. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. How are you doing this morning?
Absolutely fantastic. Have you got all the goodies put out on the table and all the hot apple cider and everything else?
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. Our party officially kicks off today at 4 o'clock. It's from 4 to 7. It's an open house. Here at the Chamber, our office is 1177 7th Street in Heyburn. So depending on which way you're coming, we're right there on the corner by the river, by the beautiful park that Heyburn has here. And we would just love to see people in the community come on out and just, if you've never been to the Chamber before, this is a perfect reason to stop by and say hello. We're going to have Santa Claus, and we have several local groups that are going to be singing and performing throughout the time period. The first one will start around 4:30, so it's just hopefully getting everyone in that lovely Christmas spirit. We've had some fantastic events here in Burley and Rupert and all over the place, and I just think it's time we start celebrating the season.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Invite everybody to come on down.
Oh, absolutely. Now, it's from 4 to 7 this afternoon, and is it open only to chamber members, or is it open to everybody?
Everybody can come. This is a community party. We've never done anything like this before that I'm aware of, so I stand corrected if that's not right, but we're just excited for people to know where the visitor center is, to know where the Chamber of Commerce is. Everybody, if you haven't taken your kids to see Santa, Santa will be here. So this is a good opportunity for that, and just to come in and say hi. We'll have food. We have some little goodie bags for everybody that stops by, and we just hope folks will just kind of, as their day winds down, go, I think I'm going to go and just have something good to eat, maybe see some friends or meet some new people, and come on into the Chamber of Commerce office.
I think it's a great idea. I absolutely salute you and the rest of the Chamber for honoring and giving great tribute to, I think, the greatest holiday that we have on our schedule of holidays, and that's the real reason of the season, the birth of Jesus Christ, and a Christmas party at the Chamber office. That's nice.
Well, thank you. And we also decked it out. We put lights on the building this year and on the bushes. So we've gotten some compliments. We want to thank people who have bothered to stop in or call us or email us and say, hey, the lights look great. We're proud of this community. We're proud to represent 13 different communities in both Cassia and Minidoka counties. And, we just invite you to come on out and celebrate the season with us, for sure. Are you going to try to make it, Zev? I hope you and your staff can come.
I am going to try to make it over there, and it's one of those situations where Thursday is the last day of the work week for me, and I've got to get everything gathered up for next week, but I'm going to try to fit that in. And by the way, what other activities are going on that you want to highlight this morning? Go ahead, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, well, we don't have a ton of stuff going on. I think the closer we get to Christmas, everybody is running around, and they have lots of things going on with parties for work, etc. So we're not going to get to all those, but definitely you might want to check out. This is a tradition for a lot of folks to attend the 28th annual production of the Nutcracker. That is going to be a fabulous performance both Friday and Saturday. It's performed by Center Stage Studios in Burley, and the students of Center Stage Studios of Dance and Performing Arts, directed by Jennifer Sager. It's going to be just a wonderful, wonderful production. And that takes place, again, Friday and Saturday at the King Fine Arts Center. They do have tickets available at the door, but they also have some select seating. So if you bring in the whole family, you might want to give them a call at 678-4117 for those reservations, just to make sure you can get tickets all together or what have you. But I know a lot of folks that's just a really neat way. They take their grandkids, take the family, and just go see this wonderful ballet show, the Nutcracker.
I just absolutely... Are you going to have music piped in through the house at the Chamber of Commerce office tonight? Are you going to have all the different Christmas carols?
We've got better than that. We've got the new board member that's coming on board, but she has a beautiful voice. We have Stephanie Curtis, and I believe it's her husband who are going to come sing. We have some other groups that are going to come in and sing, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. So, come on in, have some food, come and listen to different carolers and different people just kind of performing there. And then in between those folks, we will have some, lovely music playing in the background.
Wow.
We'd like folks to encourage you, too, if you do want to stop by, if you bring a can of food, we're going to donate that to the local charity organizations. Just because this time of year they do so much for our community in terms of getting meals and making Christmas nice for a lot of folks. And then they get down in what they've got because they deal it all out at Christmas time. So definitely if you'd like to bring a can of food, that we'd sure take it, and then we're going to redistribute those to those local charities.
Well, I'll tell you what, you are doing a jam-up great job over there at the Chamber of Commerce. Big party this afternoon starting at 4 o'clock to 7, open to the general public. It's Christmas the way it should be. Kyla, God bless you, and Merry, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Zev. Look forward to seeing you.
All right.
All the best. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care. Thank you so much. Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce and Kyla and that great big Christmas party this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Everybody try to stop in there. Okay, we got to pay some bills here real quick, and I want to remind everybody about our dear, dear friends over at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, with Joel Heward, the manager, his family, and his staff. They are absolutely committed to serving you and your family with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity when there's the passing of a loved one. And they can travel to help out in with the flexible hours they have. They can travel to some of the rural towns and churches to help you with all the arrangements. I urge you to call and find out more. Pre-planning of funerals, we all should do that for the taking a lot of the pressure off our family. The number 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Very, very nice people. And we got some more Christmas wishes that I want to pass out this morning. And Christmas wishes from Butte Irrigation at 116 South, 600 West of Paul. And another location, almost brand new, at Red Cap Corner on Kimberly Road by Kimberly. Your Zomatic dealer, Butte Irrigation, and they will get you wet. They've got all the best of parts and service, and they wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Along with a fantastic restaurant. These are the nicest people and great food at Alaska's Best, 504 7th Street in Rupert. It's been voted the best fish available in the area. I mean, like deep-fried prawns and grilled trout. Oh, my goodness, it's delicious. And Alaska's Best would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas. And also a big thank you from Streamline Precision. Streamline Precision with my friend Tim Vaughn and the crew. They want you to go up to somebody in the military or somebody in uniform as a policeman or a fireman and just stick out your hand and say, thank you. Thank you for what you do to serve us. And, of course, also that goes to the 4-H and the FFA, leaders and boys and girls. What a great job. They're learning the right message. From Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. In just a few minutes, we're going to be going to Dog Nation, and I also want to get some other things in here. I got some Christmas announcements I need to make. That there's going to be, let's see, when is this? This weekend. Thank you. This weekend, a great evening with the Burley High School Band, and they've got a dedicated new director by the name of Tim Wood from Coeur d'Alene, and along with the choir being led by Dusty Fisher. Boy, there's a nice guy. And they're going to have a concert. What is it going to be, Saturday, or is it Sunday? I got to take a look at my calendar here. No, it's next Monday. Next Monday. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's going to be next Monday night at 7 o'clock at the King Fine Arts Center, a kind of a great Christmas concert. So put that on your calendar of must things to be a part of. The American Falls Community Choir is going to be coming to the Rupert United Methodist Church at 605 H Street on also Monday, December 12th at 7:30 p.m. Don't forget that. At the United Methodist Church in Rupert on Monday the 12th. And let's see, do I have any other ones that I need to get on real quick? I do, and that is join us for an old-fashioned Christmas at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, next Thursday, December 15th, from 8:06 to 11. We'll be broadcasting over there live and direct. We're blessed. This year we're going to have Christmas carolers from Oakley High School. I'm really looking forward to that. And along with all the great food and the prizes, we're going to be giving away a lot of great prizes. And it's Christmas the way it should be at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant, next Thursday, December the 15th. Okay. While I have a minute, I also want to say thank you to Cameron and Siemens Insurance. If I sound like I'm running fast and out of breath, I am. I got a whole bunch of things to do. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert, with all your life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits. You know, don't put these things off on the back burner and just say, well, I'll get to it another week. No. Take care of it right now. Call them. And the number to make an appointment, 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Very responsive and dedicated to your needs. 436-4424. And also, do not forget our friends, and they love the snow. I mean, they're standing out in the parking lot right now saying, Nick and the rest of the crew are going, come on, Angel Dandruff. They love snow at Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Let me tell you something. They have got a whole bunch of brand new snowmobiles over there. And more are coming in every day, along with the timber sleds. You know that timber sled system, how you can have a bike conversion kit that makes it from a bike from dirt to snow and back again. Really kind of a neat deal. So get over there and check out all the accessories, and they've got a great service department at Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Yep, this is where the fun is sold. You get over and see them today. I just got word during the 10 o'clock news that we have a guest for 10:30 that I was unaware of. See, I had a cancellation early this morning, and then I called back to Washington, D.C., and I said, hey, what happened to my guest? And they said, well, he can't make it, but we've got another one lined up, and we're going to have a very interesting conversation with a lady by the name of Liberty McCarter. That's an interesting name. And she's going to be talking all about a lawsuit about a mother that gave her aborted child up, and she thought that the child was going to be buried. This is really cold and calloused. But no, the child was used for medical research, and there's a big lawsuit over this. So we'll find out more about this story at 10:30 this morning. Real quick, also, we mentioned a minute ago about my dear friend Tim Vaughn over at Precision Building, Streamline Precision Building. And I'm going to tell you, they do such a wonderful job, Streamline Precision, and this is the time of the year that they say, hey, please, we welcome your calls. We welcome to get these bids out to you on steel buildings. We welcome the opportunity to put in feed lanes and mangers at dairies. I mean, this is the time of the year they want to go to work, and they want to get it done for you before next spring. Call Streamline Precision today. Streamline Precision Building and Tim Vaughn, our buddy, at 431-7314. You call that number, 431-7314. Where in the world did all these dogs come from anyway? They're running all over my studio. Holy smokes. We got a dachshund over there in the corner chewing on an ornament from my Christmas tree, and then we've got a great big St. Bernard that just ate my Christmas tree. Here's Ken Mort, Minidoka Animal Control.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you.
You know, I'm wild with anticipation to see what you got me for Christmas.
Well, I guess you'll have to wait till Christmas Day to find out.
Oh, you're leaving me in suspenders.
Exactly.
Okay, what's happening with Minidoka Animal Control?
Well, today I've got two we're going to feature. I've got Klutz, who is a male pit bull.
Whoa, wait a minute, Mort. What's the name of this dog?
Klutz. We didn't name him.
Okay, Klutz.
Yeah, he was actually an owner surrender.
Okay.
Black and white, is trained, knows basic commands, is great with kids, does hide from strangers, does not like his head handled.
Okay.
He does have scars on his face, hind feet, and neck. We're figuring from trying to eat all the cats that he'd been going after. But he'd killed two cats, and the owner and stuff and that was having too many complaints, so he had to give him up. He is good with some other dogs as long as they're not alpha males. It makes somebody a great pet. I mean, like I say, he's great with kids, just loves kids. And then I've got Nellie. She is a female pit bull. She is brindle. She weighs 55 pounds. She is 6 to 7 years old.
Okay.
Is a very nice girl. She knows basic commands. She's great on a leash. She's been started at house training because she used to was an outside dog, and then the individual that wound up with her that had taken her in started working with her on that, and then was unable to keep her due to some financial issues. Mm-hmm. But she is good with other dogs when properly introduced. She's okay with
Okay, wait a minute. I can't let you get by on that one. When properly introduced, do you mean like, hello there, Doberman, this is Nellie. Nellie, this is Mr. Doberman. I mean, what are you talking about?
Basically, there are a lot of people that'll get a dog. They'll already have dogs, and they'll just throw them in together, not knowing what they're gonna or how they're gonna react. But when you get a new pet, and especially with a new dog, you want to slowly introduce them. If you've got other pets, like take them in, let them slowly start to get to know each other. Don't just throw them in there and let them run together or be together and stuff and that without doing it slowly. Because a lot of times the stuff and that you wind up with some serious issues if when a strange dog comes in that the other dogs aren't too familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
So just being able to slowly introduce them, which is actually the proper way to do it. That way you don't wind up having any issues. But I mean, she does great when introduced. That way we've had no issues with her with all the dogs that we get coming in. She does great with them as long as, like I say, we slowly introduce them and that to her, and then they get to know each other and realize, okay.
Kind of the same way that Mrs. Mort has to introduce you out in public, slowly.
Exactly.
Okay.
She'd make a good therapy dog, Annette, for somebody that's looking for a therapy dog. The gentleman that actually had surrendered her, I've been working with her a little bit with that. He's a veteran who actually has a therapy dog himself, and that he'd trained and has been working with her in that same manner. So if anybody's interested in either one of these two, they can contact our facility at 438-2200. You can contact me on my cell phone at 670-7268, or Deb Hines with Hayburn's Animal Control at 670-4348.
You know, there's an advertisement on television right now, Ken. I'm sure you've seen it, where the guy is at a dog pound and he's walking down the list of all the lane of all the kennels, and he says to the keeper, "What's the story on this guy?" And the lady says, "Well, he's had a hard life." And there was some kind of eye contact there, and the guy said, "I want him," and they became the best of friends. And that really is kind of a heartwarming story right there in that 30-second commercial.
It is, and I mean, and it's I always, especially this time of year when they bring them out on that, it always touches my heart because I am one of them people and stuff on that I look right into a dog. I fall in love with almost every dog that we have come into our facility, and I mean, and it makes it just that much harder to give them up. But I know that other people out there have that same feeling, and I also want to remind everybody that on that I seen a little commercial. Yesterday, or I should say last night, on Facebook that had showed a puppy saying, on my first Christmas, picture of him with his first Christmas, and then second Christmas, on it, he's in a shelter or a pound, and behind a cage, and everything is, and it stated, and I like to reiterate this to everybody, and a puppy is for life. I mean, when you adopt it, make sure that you're going to take care of it and give it a happy home.
Absolutely.
I mean, don't just get it because it's a puppy, and then once it's out of its puppy stage, it's no longer a puppy, and give it up.
Yep.
And make the commitment when you adopt an animal that animal is going to be yours for the remainder of its life.
Boy, that was so well put. You know, the newness and the little puppy and the antics and everything wears off, and it turns into a full-grown dog, and then they absolutely forget about caring for it. And that just tears my heart out.
And it does mine, too. I mean, both dogs that I have, I've got a Corgi, like I said before, that she is 9 years old. We got her when she was just a puppy. I've got a toy fox terrier that I got as a pup, when it was a puppy, and she's 10 years old. I mean, and they are part of my family. And when I make the commitment to taking in an animal, it's for life. I mean, it becomes part of my family, and I treat it as part of my family.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ken, I have nothing but admiration and respect for what you do. We have fun on this program, but it is Christmas time. It's cold out there. We've only got about 30 seconds left, but please make sure your animals, if they're outside, have the proper shelter and water and food. It's a cold time for them, too.
Exactly. I mean, they have an issue and stuff in that of freezing just as bad as we do. I mean, especially some of your shorter-haired dogs, Annette, you want to make sure that they've got plenty of warm place to get in out of the weather. If you have to, I mean, go down to Cal Ranch or one of the pet stores. Get them a sweater, get them a jacket, get them something and stuff in that to help as well with keeping them warm.
Absolutely. Officer Mort, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, Zeb.
Where'd all these dogs come from anyway? They're all over the place. Oh, goodness sakes. Ken Mort, my buddy. Minidoka Animal Control, thank you very much. Take care of your dogs and kitty cats out there. All your animals that are outside, make sure that they have the proper food, nutrition, water, very important, and, of course, protection from the elements. Holy smokes, I bet she's waiting on me right now. I better go see. Hello, Rita Ramsey, are you there?
Good morning.
How are you, Rita?
I'm real good.
Okay, I've got a list of at least a dozen things that we can talk about this morning. But first and foremost, as I look at my little calendar here, we have 42 days. 42 days left with Barack Obama. What are your thoughts about saying goodbye, Barack?
I think before we say goodbye, we better watch what he's doing, because there's a number of things that are happening, and one of them is the expediting more refugees in here.
Yes.
And he is trying to do everything that he can to snub his nose at the American people. I feel like that's what he's doing.
You know, I couldn't agree with you more. And whether it's this or whether it's something with the economy or whether it's pardoning more criminals out into our society, I don't trust this man. I've never liked this man. I've had a prejudice against him, his personality, not anything to do with racial matters. I have never liked this man because I look at him as a man that is not dedicated for the betterment of the United States. He's a man that's dedicated for the betterment of him and a global society.
Oh, yeah. He's, I think it kind of all boils back, and I don't know whether you saw it or not, or maybe you read the book, but, you know, Dinesh D'Souza did that Obama's America, and he went in there and kind of gave Obama's history, and you know, as he was growing up, and then he went down to Kenya and visited a place where his family was from, and some of those kinds of things, and they talked about, and Obama actually talks about this in his books as well, is that he doesn't like colonialism. And he thinks that America are the biggest colonialists, you know, anywhere. And it all kind of boils back to where his dad lived when England was, you know, the mother country of Kenya. And then they apparently didn't treat somebody just right or whatever the way was. And I think a lot of the blacks were probably mistreated in Africa. I don't know all of that, but one thing that I do know is that if you look at a lot of Obama's prejudices, it's him thinking that America is a colonial country,
right,
which means we take over little countries and then we're in charge of all of them, of which we don't do. And that's wrong, because those countries should have their own freedom and be able to do their own thing, and therefore he hates America and the things that America does. And so it's like, I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to do anything that I can to tear down America and make it so that it's not good. Look at what he's done with the police force, and how he's let all of the, you know, their Fast and Furious thing with the borders, and he's let all of those come in, and then how he's just let loose numbers upon numbers of convicted people in prison,
right,
for no reason. He's just let them out. And I think he's got a list of, you know, pardons that probably won't stop. And I think he's doing it just so that he can get back at America on his way out, and just kind of like, you know, when he gets ready to close the door on the way out, just give everybody the, I hate you and I hope I never have to see anybody ever again kind of thing.
Let me ask you this, and I talked about this first hour, perhaps you heard, but I brought this question up. Why? Why should we pay our taxes to a government that allows lawbreakers and protection of criminals in sanctuary cities, and basically with the money we pay as taxes, we are aiding and abetting lawlessness in this country. If you took a criminal into your home knowing that he was a criminal, he or she, and hid them from the law anywhere else, any other situation, you would be arrested as aiding and abetting a fugitive. Why are we using our tax dollars to go to these sanctuary cities? I think we need a tax revolt, no pay in this country until the laws and the Constitution are followed. Do you agree or want to chew on me a little bit?
Actually, I totally agree with that, and I think that if you started asking people who disagree with you on that, you only have to ask them 2 or 3 questions, and the first one is, why do you lock your doors at home?
That's right.
Why do you not just let anybody come in who wants to come in, and they can make themselves at home in your favorite easy chair, and they can get charge of your remote control for your TV or your satellite, and they can just help themselves stall the food in your cupboard, and then they can drive your car. Why would you lock it up and not let just anybody come in and just take over? Well, when they start saying, well, it's because it's mine and they don't have a right to it. Hello?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what's going on. They won't use common sense. If you ask them why they have security systems and why they keep their doors to their home locked, they'll say, well, it's because it's mine, but yet they'll let all of these people, or it's okay with them if we let all these people come in here, take over, do what they want to do. A number of them, not all of them, but a number of them become illegally, not obeying the laws, besides being here illegally, but, breaking the laws, other laws. And so they become a drain on our society, and if they don't do that, are their families signing up for all the free stuff, and we're supporting them, and that's why they're here. And until we do shut off the faucet, it's not going to stop. It's just going to get worse. And when we have multiculturalism, that's when a country becomes destroyed. And there's enough people who think that it's okay to have multiculturalism and live with it. All we would have to do is declare right here in Idaho that Idaho is English-speaking. And we wouldn't have to provide interpreters. We wouldn't have to provide special teachers.
Absolutely.
We wouldn't have to provide all kinds of things that we provide now when people come here and they can't speak our language.
You and I are on the same page here, but it's going to take a concentrated effort. It's not going to be 100 people, like I said last hour. It's not going to be 1,000. It's not going to be 1 million. It's got to be millions of people saying, no, I'm not going to aid and abet the government into creating more sanctuary cities and bringing in more illegal aliens with more illegal activity against our Constitution and our laws. I'm not going to pay a dime on April 15th until you clean this mess up. I think we should be calling. We should be calling Simpson. We should be calling Risch. We should be calling Crapo. And we should be calling Labrador and telling them our demands are that they better knock these 300 sanctuary cities and their mayors right upside the head and get their attention, because no more of our taxpayer dollars.
Well, that's what's going to have to happen, and until we have a big enough voice, and that's going to have to be, dozens of people. I think they say that when they get a letter from one person, they kind of equate that to there's probably 10,000 people in the state that agree with them. And so if they get 40 or 50 or 100 people, they're thinking, hey, there's a ton of people that are concerned about this. I better make some investigations and do some listening so that I can, make some choices here. But until people start screaming and hollering and making a big stink about it, they're just going to do what they want to do, and it's not going to matter. And the part that's really sad about that is, and I've had numbers of people talk to me since the election, said, well, now with President Trump, everything's going to be wonderful, and I know he's just going to turn it around and everything. And so they're ignoring it. First of all, he can't turn it around on his own. He's got to have the legislative branches helping with that.
Right.
But it isn't going to be just wonderful if everybody just turns their back and says, now he'll do the right thing and everything's going to be wonderful.
That was extremely well put, and it goes right along hand in glove as to what I said. I'm afraid, Rita, honestly, I'm very afraid that we are going to reach a level of complacency. Oh, well, done deal. Senate's controlled by the Republicans. House is controlled by the Republicans. White House controlled by Republicans. Sit back, relax. Great days ahead. That's when we're going to fall.
That's exactly right. And the biggest problem is because all of those people who are in there are not constitutionally minded,
right.
And they're not conservatives. They may have an R behind their name, and we've got some in high positions in our state that have R's behind their name, but they're not conservative Republicans. They are very, very liberal Republicans, and we have to make sure that they hear our voice. There are not more liberals in this state than there are conservatives. It's just the conservative people are saying, you know what? I just want to make a living. I just want to take care of my family. Well, that's what we should be able to do, but it's become so out of control that we're going to have to go in and rein them in and say, hey, you can't keep doing this. And as long as you don't express your voice and you don't meet together in groups and decide on a strategy, nothing's going to happen.
Amen. Rita, what about the cabinet appointments? Now, I'm going to tell you how I feel about these, and then you can tell me if you agree or disagree. So far, I have nothing that I can complain about as far as the cabinet appointments that are going on within the future Trump administration. As a matter of fact, when I looked at a couple of the most recent ones, I was really taken aback, especially the one with Scott Pruitt and a former Attorney General of Oklahoma to head the EPA. That is what is needed, is somebody that can look at both sides of the fence and find out where the greener grass is. He's going to be, I think, more fair and balanced than any EPA leadership we've had in the last 20 years.
Well, I hope that he'll have the fortitude, and where he's from a state who actually probably really hates the EPA. I think where he's in the situation that he's in, I think he will do some good there. I hope that he'll have the fortitude to go in with a knife and start cutting away a lot of the regulations and stuff that he has, and get things to where regulation isn't just strangling people. There are a lot of positions that I think that they're good choices. I think that, you know, when you put a guy who's a Goldman Sachs guy in charge of the Treasury, it just kind of makes you wonder. But and then Senator McConnell, his wife, is the Transportation Secretary. It feels like they're just kind of flooding in some of the old guard and not really taking into consideration with that. But that's only two positions. I'd like to see what he does with the Secretary of State thing, because I think that's a really important one, and who they've been eyeing over right now, that congressman who thinks Russia's just wonderful. That's not going to be a good choice.
No, but I tell you something, I'm going to put you on the spot real quick before we take this caller. Are you willing to lay any odds on any particular person right now for Secretary of State? I'm kind of in the dark. I still don't have an inkling as to where they're going to go.
I don't either. I wish he would open his eyes and say, you know what? John Bolton ought to be the one we ought to put in there. He's kind of the guy that's in the know about all this stuff, and he's been around the block, and he knows what needs to be done.
I kind of have a leaning towards your direction on that one. I do. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, Ed, just a question, and then you folks can comment on it. How about if everybody refused to pay their taxes? Would that help? You can comment on that if you would, and I'll listen on the radio.
All right, sir. I appreciate your comment on that. And you had the nerve to call in and say it. I believe that we need to have a tax revolution in this country. I've said this, and I know I'm going to stand a lot of heat. I own this program. I'll take the heat on my own shoulders. I think that we need to have a tax revolt on April 15th because of the 300 sanctuary cities in this country, and the list is growing, and the Bill de Blasio's and the Rahm Emanuel's from New York City and Chicago, respectively, that are basically saying, come on into Chicago and New York, break the law, we're going to protect you. It's got to stop, and the only way to stop it, Rita, in my opinion, is to say, hey, no tax money till you follow the law and the Constitution.
Actually, I totally agree with that, and I would be on board with everybody who would be willing to do it. The problem is if you don't have enough people that are willing to say,
That's
okay,
right.
I'm not going to pay my taxes, which means I could end up in jail or lose my business. When you don't have people that will say, I will do that anyway, you don't have a cause. And that's what the big problem is if you could get enough people that would say, I'm not paying one more dime into the federal or the state coffers until there's this type of thing is taken care of, you'd get their attention, because you had hundreds of thousands of people that were saying, no, I'm not going to pay any more taxes. But when you have a big group and everybody says, okay, this is what we're going to do, and then you have one lonely guy at the top that he's the only one that held on. Now the rest of them buckled and said, well, I better pay my taxes. I don't want to lose my business, or I don't want to go to jail over it, and that kind of thing. And I'm with them. That's the way I feel. I don't want to lose my business or go to jail over it if everybody else isn't willing to. It's, you have to have a big enough group that is willing to stop doing that they feel the pain, and all of a sudden it's kind of like, hello, we better get something done right away.
Well, Rita, though, when you think about it this way, supposing that you and I and others that refused to pay our taxes until the law was followed and the Constitution was followed, think about the court case. Think about the lawyer that could stand up there and say, wait a minute, my client is not going to pay his taxes to this government for illegalities, for crime, and for illegal aliens to be here. You clean this mess up and we'll pay our taxes. We are actually, by paying our taxes, aiding and abetting crime.
That's really true, but we don't want to end up being the criminal. And that's what happens is you have us deplorable people who keep the country going by paying our taxes and doing what we need to do and doing our civic duty. It is absolutely, you're right. You're totally right. And you can have 3 or 4, and then there's a number of people out there that have said that very same thing. They didn't get any radio time. They didn't get any TV time. They didn't get any kind of acknowledgement. They're just on the government's list of, we're going to target you and get you, and we're going to take your land, kind of, the Bundy thing down in Nevada. That's what a lot of that was all about. I'm not going to pay any more until you straighten this up. Well, look where it got.
Yeah, but
it isn't a big enough movement. We have to have a big movement.
I agree with everything. I agree with everything you said, but it's got to start someplace. Because like Deanna and I were talking this morning, watching the news at about 4:30, and they were talking about, they showed Rahm Emanuel walking out of Trump Towers, and he said, well, I'm going to fight for more money, and I'm going to fight for more people to have the right as immigrants to come to Chicago as a sanctuary city. Let's not get this covered up with a bunch of moss. Let's call it what it is. Illegal aliens. They're here illegally. They're aliens. They're not citizens of this country, many of which are involved in crime and crime syndicates, and they're making it a safe haven on your tax dollars and mine. Something's got to stop, Rita.
Well, you're absolutely right. And, I'm not so sure that it wouldn't be good to have a Twitter war over that and just get things going and let, maybe that's the thing that Donald Trump will actually look at is the Twitter feed and going, holy cow, everybody's concerned about this sanctuary city thing. That's probably what we ought to address first, and that'll be a really good thing, a really good place to start.
I'm not going to let it lay because I'm going to get my accountant on the air. A lot of people are cowards and they won't talk about this, but I'm going to, and I think we need a tax revolution in this country to the point where we say, okay, Uncle Sam, you point the finger at us years ago when you wanted us to fight in your military. I want you. Well, now I'm pointing my finger at the government to clean this mess up. No more money for illegals, no more money for sanctuary cities, no more money to support crime.
Well, you're absolutely right, and it does need to become a national movement, and I think that the majority of the people in this country are in your court on that, other than saying, but if I don't pay my taxes, they come after me, and I lose my house, and and they start chickening out. And I would be right at the top of that list. I'll say I'll do it if everybody else will, but if everybody else doesn't, I'll be darned if I'm going to do it on my own.
I agree with that, but I tell you something's got to be done. I look at the likes of that Bill de Blasio in New York City, and I know this sounds calloused, and I know this sounds low class, but I would like nothing more than to walk up to him and just stick one right on the end of his nose for what he's doing to the honest, God-fearing taxpayers in this country by taking federal money and turning New York into a cesspool of nothing but people on welfare and gimme-gimmes. And that really is the truth.
Well, it really is, and it's sad. But until we have a big enough revolt and people who will jump out of their complacency seat and start doing something, we're not going to get any progress made on it.
You know, Rita, if you look at your watch, I got to get a weather forecast in here real quick, and it's brought to everybody by Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin and Company CPAs, Curtis Pope, Todd Phillips, Rob Oaks, Mitch Goodwin, and Leiden Crane. Absolutely the best in tax return preparation. We're talking about that right now. Tax planning, bookkeeping services, retirement planning, and so much more. 2 locations to serve you, Burley and Rupert. Get a hold of them today for your year-end tax planning at Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin and Company CPAs. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Here is your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. We do have about a 90% chance of snow showers for today. It's going to be breezy as well. Winds out of the east, right around 15 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 27 for today. Tonight, low of 25 for tomorrow. Rain and snow showers are in the forecast. High right around 40, overnight low of 35. Then as we get on into the weekend, we've got some more snow showers as a possibility, especially up in the higher elevations. Highs are going to be in the upper 30s, lows in the mid-20s. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you very much, Gina. Brought to everybody by The Best. And that's where we go. Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin and Company CPAs. Curtis Pope, Todd Phillips, Rob Oaks, Mitch Goodwin, Leiden Crane, 1710 Overland and Burley, and 625th Street in Rupert. Rita, along the same vein, why does the left, and how does the left get away with being everyday lawbreakers? And they can say and do things that never get them in trouble. Now, if you and I, right now, got on the air and advocated violence against Donald Trump on Inauguration Day, I would bet you there'd be somebody opening your door at Ramsey's and coming in to talk to you, and also my door, representing perhaps the FBI or whatever. Michael Moore, that big fat blimp filmmaker, has advocated and is promoting violence on Inauguration Day all across America. This is ridiculous.
It's really sad, and I guess maybe they just don't take him seriously because he's just one big voice, but we do know that if it was a conservative voice, whether it's you on the radio or me just making a statement and printing it in the comment section of the newspaper or even letting it get around and to where a number of people heard it, whether it was on the radio or not, I'm sure there would be some visitors from the security places, whether it's the FBI or the people who guard the president or anything else, and really they should be taking interest in it. But why are they not causing him some anguish to, just keep your mouth shut and don't start something going?
Yeah, supposing you and I went on a street corner up there in Washington, D.C., and we started saying to people, passersby, that we're going to be on Pennsylvania Avenue and we're going to cause violence, we're going to break windows, we're going to overturn cars, we're going to burn squad cars, violence. We wouldn't last 5 minutes on that street corner. And here this big fat buffoon, Michael Moore, is advocating organizing all these violent eruptions on Inauguration Day and getting away with it. It just drives me insane.
Well, it's absolutely right, and it just depends whether you're conservative or not. If you're conservative, you don't get a pass. If you're anything else, they just pass you over, and they'll either discount you as a kook or say, oh, well, they're more liberal, so we'll just let them do it. We're not afraid of doing something. If it's conservative, that gives them a reason to do something.
I've only got a minute left, but I got to have you comment on these recounts. They've decided to shut down the Michigan recount because, quite frankly, a federal judge said it's a waste of stupid money. And as a matter of fact, most of the votes they found that have gone in the wrong slot, they were for Donald Trump, not Hillary Clinton. What are your responses to that?
Finally, there's a voice of common sense, and it's absolutely right. If they've got reason and they think that there was voter fraud and they can prove it, then we need to have the recount. That's the law. But they can't. And with her, it's like, okay, everything that we've been counting has been coming up, showing that it's in favor of the guy that you're against. Do you want to look stupid here, or do you want to keep going? And I think that that somebody with a little bit of common sense that had the authority said, well, let's hold this off here.
You know, and Jill Stein, really, I mean, why can't this woman just fade off into total obscurity and her Green Party? I think that they have proven that they're a bunch of absolute wannabes with no hope of ever becoming anything.
Well, I think it boils down to the one thing that happens a lot in this country, and it's the bottom line. She's hoping that she can get a lot more money and probably to pay off her debts for election. And if she can just keep out there and keep some people flowing money into her, she'll be able to pay them off instead of being stuck with them.
Great conversation this morning, Rita. And as I'll say right up to the day, Merry Christmas to you and your family and your business. Thank you so much.
And thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. You know, I appreciate her, Rita Ramsey, every Thursday on our program. You know what else on Thursdays? If you're hungry and starving to death, I know some great places to go, like the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, the pumpkin shakes, the marshmallow shakes, the black raspberry shakes, the chicken fried steak sandwiches, the Farmer Brown burgers. What are you waiting for? Get over there today. The AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. How about Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley? Have you tried that new pork burrito with beans, pork, rice, sour cream, and cheese? Knock your boots off, delicious. And top it off with a pumpkin empanada. Whoa, baby, good eating. Your teeth are going to thank you. Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland Avenue in Burley. It is delicious. Burgers, etc., 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. They've got hamburgers only 99 cents after 3 p.m. Did you know that? And they've got hot soup, a different flavor Monday through Friday, bread bowl or cup, and boy, it is delicious. All the burgers, the bacon burgers and everything at Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. And last but not least, Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. And they've got gift certificates, too, for Christmas gift giving, for stocking stuffers. What a great idea. And they got a new salad called the chicken breast with bacon and all the goodies. This is a knockout, delicious salad. And even cupcakes for desserts. They've got everything over there at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. You stop in and see any one of these great businesses if you're starving and you need to get some great food. They can help you. Starving to death? That's the place to go. Okay, my goodness, we're going to take a little break right now and then come back, and we've got the Cassia County School Days, we've got our business salute, we've got all kinds of things coming up next hour. Zeb at the Ranch, don't go away. We'll see you in about 7 minutes. Oh, my goodness sakes. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to the last hour of the show for this week. Zeb at the Ranch. Good morning, I'm Zeb Bell, and along with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Let's see what we've got to get done here in a few minutes. I want to remind you, too, about Streamline Precision. Absolutely Streamline Precision Building with my buddy Tim Vaughn at 431-7314. You know, they've got the pre-engineered steel buildings for long, long life and maintenance-free use. And right now is the time to call Tim and say, Tim, I need a bid on a steel building. And you know what? They're just going to love doing it right now this time of the year, so they have everything done for you in the spring. Absolutely great people. Streamline Precision. And the number is 431-7314. You call Tim Vaughn today. He'll get a bid ready for you at Streamline Precision. Call right now. And let's see what else. Oh, we got some Santa Claus wishes we got to get on here real quick. Happy Christmas time from, let's see, who are we going to talk about first this morning? Joe Taylor, my buddy. Good morning, Joe. And this is one of the greatest realtors around. Don't forget Joe. We appreciate him. And, of course, he's moved over to Riverbridge Realty, and he is an outstanding real estate agent. He wishes you and yours a very Merry Christmas, Joe Taylor. Along with Clark's for Shopping, 100 East Main in Oakley with that famous sausage recipe from Grandma. Boy, she did a great job. Either bulk, patties, or links. It's delicious. Wishing you a Merry Christmas, Clark's for Shopping. Along with Rogge Auction Company. Hello, Ron, Kate, and Jed, the best doggone auctioneers around. If you're selling your farm or farm equipment, you call them. They can help you at 431-0074. Wishing you a very Merry Christmas. And my dear friend, Colonel Dale, at Book Plaza, 222 West 11th Street in Burley. Have you been in there? You need to go, because they've got all kinds of very unique gift-giving items for Christmas to those loved ones and those special folks. So you just be sure and get on in there. All the books. And you know what? You mentioned my name, and you might end up getting some free great books. Check it out at the Book Plaza, 222 West 11th Street in Burley. Wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Oh, my goodness. I got time for a call or two, but in just a moment, we're going to go to the phone line. And we're going to have our dear friends with Cassia County School Days, and I'll get to that in just a moment. I want to remind everybody that Cassia County School Days is brought to you by two wonderful businesses. Absolutely. First of all, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and they've got so many great Christmas gift-giving ideas there, from the children's clothing to the warm winter coats to the family games and the books and the puzzles, everything. Stop in at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And also, Ambulatory Surgery Center. For your outpatient surgeries, they are the best and can save you a lot of money. Call them today. Find out more. 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley, and A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. Yep. Great sponsors of Cassia County School Days. And we're going to go to the phone line right now. And we have a lady on the program this morning that's been here before, and I really enjoy having her on the program. Good morning, Sandra Miller. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. I am doing very well. Thank you. And thank you for this opportunity to be on the program.
Well, first of all, have you got your Christmas shopping done?
You know, I am really darn close, yes.
Really?
How about you?
Well, can I come over to your house and kind of shake and rattle the box of the present you're going to give me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll let you guess.
Okay. What's going on in the Cassia County school system about new college and career advising positions? I'll kind of let you pick the football up and run with it. Tell us about that.
You betcha. Thank you. It is an exciting opportunity that came to every district in the state of Idaho through the Senate Bill 1290 in this past legislative session this spring. And it did amend Section 331212A on counselors. And the section was amended so that it would give us an opportunity to hire college and career advisors. And they actually, the State Board of Education gave us some guidelines, and there were several models that we could choose from. Cassia School District, we chose to hire college and career advisors, mentors to our students. And the reason we chose to do that was we feel like students beginning in grade 8 will be given, with these positions that we've hired, will be given numerous opportunities to meet with a college and career advisor and or a counselor from their school. And they'll be able to discuss all kinds of topics that pertain to their current education right now in Cassia and post-secondary interests.
You know, let me ask you something there, Sandra, and I don't want to seem like I'm nitpicking or trying to tear apart this program, because I'm very much behind it. But there are those in our society that are going to say, what? At 8th grade, they're trying to get these kids to make a decision on what they want to do? That's much too early. How would you respond to that?
Okay, so, and rightly so. I mean, people are thinking about that and thinking 8th grade. But the idea behind this is not necessarily that they make a decision. It is that they talk to us, our counselors who we already have in schools, or our college and career advisors, and they talk about their interests. We will be able to give them interest inventories, probe ideas that they have, and then by the time they are seniors, they will have a much more educated and better idea of where exactly they might want to go after high school, and not necessarily to college. I mean, yes, we are saying some kids, 4-year college is amazing, some community college, some a tech school, professional technical education. Some of them are actually ready when they graduate to start their career, and that's what our college and career advisors are going to help them make an educated decision by the time they graduate on what is the best for them.
Amen. Now, I am so thankful for people like you talking about things like this. And you said, and I'm not trying to use your exact words, I'll paraphrase, but, basically these kids, as they grow and mentally they change their attitudes as they go through 8th grade into freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, some of them might all of a sudden say at the beginning of their senior year, boy, I'm just infatuated with the idea of maybe becoming a filmmaker, or maybe I want to take over the family farm and I'm really going to have to study on courses on farm management, etc. Or maybe they want to become welders, or maybe they want to go to medical school to be a brain surgeon. But you know something? I love the idea that not all kids are going to be form-fitted to go to a 4-year university.
Exactly. And what we want is to get their interest. Not to mention, if we can start in 8th grade, we have our own tech center right here where our students can become certified in many different fields by the time they graduate from high school. So if we can tap into their interests early, when they're in 8th, 9th, 10th grade, when they're 11th and 12th graders, when they're juniors and seniors, then they have an area that they go to right here in our very own district, which is phenomenal, the Cache Regional Technical Center, and they can get an endorsement, a certificate. I mean, they can be well on their way before they even leave our system here.
Let me ask you this, though, and Sandra, I'm going to just state this from the child's point of view, okay? I can remember in 8th grade, and as a freshman, and as a sophomore, when someone would ask me a question about what I liked to do and what I wanted to do, I'd go, yeah, well, I don't know. I guess I want to play pro football. I mean, how do you really get into these kids' minds and find out what's going on in there?
Well, that is the job of these college and career advisors. It's to sit down one-on-one with them to look at their 4-year plans, to say, okay, let's look at your current class schedule, what interests you here. We have a system called CIS, and it actually taps into the student's interest. It's a computerized program, and we're going to have all of our 8th graders, 9th graders doing that to tap into their own interest too, because some of us didn't even know exactly what we were interested. I know students who graduate and say, I don't know exactly what I want to do right now. And so what we're trying to do is to give them resources and opportunity after opportunity to find out what it is they truly want to do. If they say, I want to be a professional football player, okay, let's do some research on that. What is that going to take? What do you need to do to try to reach that dream or that goal? And many times students, after they do a little bit of the research, talk with a college and career advisor, they decide, maybe that's not exactly what I want to do.
The thing I like about this, Sandra, is that, and I'll say this, and again, please feel free to correct me, but education and finding the wants and the negatives of children today is so much better than it was when I was in school. I can remember vividly that the guidance counselor, all they did was push college. You got to go to the University of Wisconsin. You got to do this. You got to do that. Wait a minute. That's not what I really wanted to do, nor was I suited for. I think it's so much better today.
It truly is, I think, better in the interest of students. What is it that you really want to do in life? Because we all know, Zeb, that a job can be a job unless you love what you're doing. So for me, my job, I don't see it as a job. I see it as my passion, as something I love. I wake up every day and want to come to work.
Yeah.
That's what we want for all of our kids. We want them to be successful, and we want them, if they are so inclined, to seek a job right here in this wonderful Mini-Cassia area. That's what we want to help them do. If they don't want to go to school, we want to get them prepared to take on and have a career right here in our very own community.
I have had numerous kids, high school kids, college kids, come up to me and say, wow, I would love to do what you do. You're on the radio. You got a studio in your home. And for 42 years, you traveled all over the United States and Canada and the world announcing special events, rodeos, equine events and everything. Wow, am I jealous of you? It must be a great job. They don't know about all the hard work and the hours and hours of education that I paid for myself to make sure that I did reach the top of my profession. But you know something? You got to do what you want to do in life and love it, or it's a waste of time.
I totally agree, and that's kind of our objective here. We hope that our students will gain the knowledge about options for any post-secondary opportunities through exposure to career choices, just like we're talking about, junior college opportunities, CSI, other junior colleges, professional technical prospects, and then, of course, university alternatives, because universities are for some students. And that's great, too. So that is the objective and the goal in Cassia County, is for us to have those college and career advisors touching base with every student and tapping into their interests.
Let me ask you this, Sandra, and I'm almost out of time, but and I don't mean to get off the rails here a little bit, but when you see the millennials on TV, like back at Hampshire College in Massachusetts, $62,000 a year, and none of these kids at this liberal arts school have a clue as to what they're going to do. I mean, it must sadden you.
It is disheartening to some extent, because I have had students say, I have paid more for my education than it's worth. And I hate to hear that, because really in the end education is priceless. You can't pay. I mean, you know, it is priceless. But if students, I think most of those students have gone into an area where they didn't feel a deep interest. And so then when they get done, like you said, they don't know exactly what they're going to do with that certificate, degree, experience. So I think we have to tap into that earlier so kids understand that.
Oh, I tell you, I could go on and on with the conversation. I really enjoy having you on the program.
Oh, I love being on the program, and we want to say thank you for having us, for highlighting Cassia School District, where wonderful things are happening.
Well, I can see that, and I believe it, and thank you, and I'll try to make a call later on to you and your family to come over and shake that box a little bit to see what's in my gift.
I look forward to it, Deb.
Take care. Merry Christmas.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Sandra Miller, I love that lady. She does a great job on behalf of the Cassia County School System. Very, very interesting. And, of course, brought to you by two wonderful businesses, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley and Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. Thank you very much. Holy buckets. I got to get going here. Merry Christmas wishes from Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. Absolutely. Save on your steel buildings. We were talking about that a little bit ago. You call Tim Vaughn. Now's the time to get them all put up for next spring. Be ready to go. And they are also experts in excavation. Streamline Precision, wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Along with Magic Valley Irrigation. Yes, 44 East, 500 South of Burley. Jeff and the crew wish everybody, all the farmers and ranchers, everyone, a very Merry Christmas. And don't forget Golden Valley Warehouse at 468 West, 1000 South of Burley. Oh, my God. These are good people. I mean, we call them and say, hey, you want to wish everybody Merry Christmas? You bet we do. They're like family and friends to us and you. Golden Valley Warehouse, 468 West, 1000 South of Burley, wishing you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Oh, in just a moment, and I say just a moment because I'm not ready yet. I still got something else I have to do. We're going to be going to the phone line, and we're going to have our business salute. And this week, we're going to be talking to Joe over at Western Way Services. And so stand by for that. But first and foremost, don't forget Four Paws Bed and Bath at 370 West, 200 South of Rupert. You know what they're going to do on the 17th? They're going to have a great big dog Christmas party. Absolutely for your dogs and kitty cats. a huge Christmas party. You take your animals over there, and they're also going to be celebrating that grand opening of their new edition, and they're going to have lots of giveaways and great food. It's a Christmas party and grand opening on Saturday, December 17th at Four Paws Bed and Bath, 370 West 200 South of Rupert. Great place, nice people, Four Paws Bed and Bath. Let's go to the phone line right now and say good morning to Joe at Western Waste Services. Joe, are you there, buddy?
I am, Zeb. Good morning.
What's going on over there at Western Waste Services? Give us a real quick synopsis of what you guys are doing right now this time of the year.
We're doing good. We're still picking up trash everywhere, and we got lots going on, and a lot of people are getting ready for Christmas parties and getting extra services set up and all that kind of stuff, so we're definitely super busy right now.
So you guys really, you're not just kind of a seasonal business, putting porta potties up for picnics or picking up trash once a week at their location. I mean, you really got a lot going all the time, 24/7, 365.
That is correct. Yeah, we're definitely busy all over. There's lots going on, and we're always busy, always doing something. A lot of people are changing services, adding services, or taking away services, going away for the winter. We're one of the few companies that does put your account on vacation hold. So if you do leave the area for a couple months, you don't have to pay for the service when you're not here. You can actually stop your service. We'll set it up in the computer to where when you come back, it's already activated, and you just put your garbage can out, and we start picking it up. You don't have to worry about calling us or nothing.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Now, two things I want to talk to you about real quick this morning in the time that we have. Number one, the Go Mini storage units. I have said on the air, these are excellent ideas because, boy, if people are like me and they hoard everything in their house, their garage, their basement, they need a storage unit, you've got them.
Yeah, we have a whole line of them. We have 12-foot minis, we have 16, and we have 20-foot minis. They're all 8 foot wide, 8 foot tall. They just vary in length, and you can have them from any period of time, from a month to a year, and we'll bring it right to your place and put it wherever you want. You can store your stuff in there, and they're nice and secure. And if you don't have room for it, we can also bring it back to our facility and store it here for you.
My wife would love me to get a 20-foot mini and dump my whole office inside of it.
Here you go, Zeb.
Okay. Hey, another great idea you guys have got, and I love this one, that for a gift certificate for the hard-to-buy person, they can have a gift certificate to have their garbage picked up. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's kind of the gift that keeps giving is what we're calling it. What you can do is if you have a loved one or something that you can't find something to buy for, you can actually call us up. You can pay for their garbage service, and you can do it for a quarter or you can do it for a half a year, and you can pay for their garbage service, and it's kind of a gift that keeps on giving. And also for what we're kind of targeting on too is a lot of people that have, family or folks that, live on a farm and they don't have garbage service. You can give them a gift service that says, hey, I'm going to pay for your garbage for the whole year, and that way they don't have to worry about it. We turn by and pick it up for them.
Now, Joe, while I got you on the line, I want you to kind of give us, and over at the studio, Damon, we're getting a little feedback here. Watch that a little bit. I want you to tell everybody the wide area that Western Waste services here in Magic Valley.
Okay, we cover all of Minidoka County. We cover Cadgett County. We have all of Jerome County, all of Twin Falls County, and all of Gooding County. So if you live in any one of those 5 counties, we can definitely provide some sort of service for you.
All right. And now 2 telephone numbers, and I want you to go real slow with these numbers because it's very important, especially this time of the year with Christmas around the corner and families getting together. How can they get on the route service? Tell them where to call.
You can call the main office number. That's 208-734-6969. That's the main office number you can call. Or you can call me directly. My number's 208-941-2982. These are one of those numbers. We answer it all the time. We can take all your information on the phone, and we can get you on the route, no problem.
Joe, I tell you what, you are, correct me if I'm wrong, you're the sales manager over there, aren't you?
That is correct.
Well, I'll tell you what, on behalf of my wife and myself, we want to wish you and Kelly, the whole crew over there, a very Merry Christmas. We thank you for coming on the program. You're a straight-up, stand-up guy, and we appreciate it. And the very best to Western Waste Services.
Perfect. Thank you, Zeb. Merry Christmas to you and your family and every one of our customers in the Minnetonka area. And we look forward to many more years of service with each one of our customers.
All right, sir. God bless. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Good guys, good people at Western Way Services, always at your disposal. And that's the truth. They really are good folks. Okay, let's see. I got some more. Oh, I got to remind you that next Thursday, do not forget this, and I'm really asking you for your support. And I'm going to get a little serious here. We're going to be over at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, next week on Thursday for an old-fashioned Christmas. We're going to have carolers from Oakley High School and, of course, the great food. And we're going to be giving away a lot of door prizes and everything. We're going to have Christmas the way it used to be and should be at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. And we're going to have the Loot in the Boot. What we do with the money derived from Loot in the Boot is we go and make sure that a couple of very needy families every year celebrate a very happy and Merry Christmas. So please help us out with the Loot in the Boot for Christmas time while we'll be over at Denny's Restaurant next Thursday, America's Diner, on Thursday, December 15th. And we'll look forward to having you there. Going to be a fun time. I've heard that the singers, the carolers from Oakley High School are absolutely fantastic, and I'm really looking to forward to having them on the air. Right now, let's send it back over to our main studios. Good old Wheels over there is ready to have a break at the bottom of the hour. I'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to our last half hour. And Santa Claus Merry Christmas wishes go out to Pro Paint. Yes, they wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Pro Paint at 1116 Overland Avenue in Burley with Barbara and the whole crew. What nice people. Believe me, the best paint, best stains, everything, and the best advice with the PPG paint at Pro Paint. 1116 Overland and Burley, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Along with my friends, they are good. Snake River Auto Body and Paint at 404 4th Avenue West in Twin Falls. Kenny Rogers and the whole crew. They are exceptional, and believe me, drive safely. And if you have a little crunch, they can take care of it, I'll guarantee you. Snake River Auto Body and Paint, 404 4th Avenue West in Twin Falls, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Let's go to the phone line right now. I have never had this lady on the program, and I'm looking forward to the visit. Good morning to Liberty McCarter with the Stream. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you doing?
You know, I got to ask you first and foremost, I don't think I have ever had anybody on my program named Liberty. It kind of reminds me of the Western that was made years ago, Liberty Valance. How did you get that name? I love it.
Well, thank you, first of all. Apparently, according to my parents, it was a name that my dad just kind of came up with before my mom and dad even got married. And then later on, after they got married and found out that they were pregnant, they discovered that the due date was going to be July 4th. And so they were like, oh, this is a perfect time to use that name that he came up with a long time ago. So that's kind of how it came about.
So you're a 4th of July baby, and so was my son. Congratulations and happy birthday before next July.
Oh, well, thank you. I was actually born a week late, but I couldn't celebrate the whole week, so.
There you go. Liberty, what is this story about Jessica Duran and a lawsuit against the Southwestern Women's Option for giving her daughter that was aborted to funded fetal research? What is all this?
So in 2012, a young woman named Jessica Duran went to Southwestern Women's Options, SWO, to have an abortion. And the lawsuit is happening because they violated informed consent. When Jessica signed the consent form to have the abortion, there was a little paragraph on there about how parts and tissues could be used for medical research, but it lacked a lot of important specifics such as the nature of the research, the fact that SWO was the sole provider of baby parts to the University of New Mexico, and several of their physicians were actually on faculty at the University of New Mexico. And also, they never even informed her that it was totally voluntary for her to donate her baby's body to medical research. All of those things are required by state law, which SWO does not do. And so that's how the lawsuit came about.
I've got to ask this question because I am a firm advocate against abortion. Why did this lady by the name of Jessica Durant, what was the necessary or means with which she wanted to have an abortion in the first place?
Well, she tells her story that she was 21 years old at the time, pretty young. She said at a press conference on Monday when the lawsuit was launched that she was naive, distraught, and scared. She had conflicted thoughts. She visited SWO several times, trusting them to give her all of her options. And she said she felt pressured by the baby's father and her parents to have the abortion, and even by the doctors. She wasn't really given any other options. So after visiting several times, she eventually went through with it. But she says that she was depressed at the time she went, and it's on the paperwork. The clinic knew that she was, and she just had a lot of emotional hardship afterwards. And then she found out this information that they had violated the consent laws in New Mexico, and that she had no idea what her baby's body was going to be used for. And she said, had she known that, she would have been in a better state of mind to make a decision that she didn't want that to happen to her baby, and it would have altered the decision that she made. So she's really mourned this abortion, according to what she says.
You know, and Liberty, I got to say that I can't even imagine, nor do I even want to try, the mindset of this young lady after she found out that the aborted baby was absolutely put on a table and was dissected as if it was some kind of a frog or a grasshopper in a biology class. That must have been horrendous for her.
Yeah, and, you know, one thing, she's being supported by a pro-life group, New Mexico Alliance for Life, and one of the things that their director said in the press conference on Monday was that at a summer camp at the University of New Mexico, they had students dissecting the brain of a 7-month-old baby that had been aborted, that the camp actually ordered from SWO, whole and fixed, in quotes. So that's just the kind of really disturbing stuff that's going on, and the mothers don't know about it because SWO isn't telling them that this is the kind of stuff they're doing with those, quote, parts and tissue.
Well, Liberty, I guess my obvious naive question would be, why can't we have better qualification procedures? Why can't there be more questions asked and answered prior to an abortion so that these people like Jessica have much more educated ways of making a decision?
Well, you would think that for people who are pro-choice, they would want all the information out there. I don't really know how to explain it other than the fact that there is in our culture and among the medical profession such a bias for abortion, and so there's really a lack of facts. And there are other examples too. Just back in October, after the third presidential debate, when Trump and Clinton talked about partial birth abortions, in the Federalist, a woman came out with a story about how she had an unborn son who was diagnosed with congenital heart defect, and she was really pressured to abort. And she told the doctors no, convinced them that she wasn't going to go through with the abortion, and only then did they give her information about support groups with moms in her same situation, people who had babies with this defect, and they went on to be healthy. She never learned about any of that from the doctors. They only told her the abortion side of the options. So there's just a bias against life, and that's really the only way I know how to explain explain it.
Okay, but now wait a minute. Those are good words right there. A bias against life. And I've said this many, many times, and you can criticize my remark or you can agree with me. But we are slowly but surely turning into a huge hemlock society in the United States, not only with the newborns, not only with partial birth abortion or abortion, but also for the elderly in our country. I fear where we're headed to where we have no respect for life anymore.
I think that's definitely correct. And, I mean, you can get really deep into, history and philosophies and things that have influenced people's mindsets. But I think our culture is so focused on selfishness and individual and what I want. And so that puts a lot of the most vulnerable people at risk, babies, unborn babies, the elderly, because there's not this sense of duty or caring for others like there should be. It's all just about me in our culture, and then that doesn't breathe life.
I point the finger, and I'm going to be very honest here. I pointed the finger at Barack Obama since way back in 2007 as being an advocate for this kind of absolute heinous crime. That's what I call this. Because he, as a senator from the state of Illinois, absolutely advocated partial birth abortion. And I talked to many of the nurses that worked in the hospital back in Chicago, Illinois, that just shook their heads, walked away, because the unborn child or the tried to be aborted child was left on a gurney and pushed into a closet to die, and our president now advocated that kind of violence. I just have nothing good to say about Barack Obama and the preponderance of partial birth abortion and abortion in general that his administration has furthered. What are your remarks?
Well, I think that has just continued. I mean, you could see in the third presidential debate when Hillary Clinton defended partial birth abortions, and she said that Donald Trump's description of it being ripped from the mother's womb was scare rhetoric. And then online, it was amazing. All these women were like, there's no such thing as abortion at 9 months. That Donald Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. And then they'll say, here's my story of my late-term abortion. And there was a lot of these testimonials of women. They found out their baby had a major health problem or something before it was born, and the doctor said it had zero quality of life if it was born. The merciful thing to do would be to abort. And so there's just so much misinformation. But then you have the piece I talked about a minute ago, the Federalist piece. This woman was told the same thing, but because she was pro-life, she couldn't have an abortion, and now she has a healthy 2-year-old little boy that the doctors told her would probably never have a good life if he was born. And so I think, a lot of people and a lot of women who even go to have abortions, they don't realize all the information because you have people that they trust, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, saying it's not that bad, it's not that big of a deal, it doesn't happen that way, but it is that bad, it is that barbaric. There are other options, and no one's talking about them.
Absolutely. Last question here about Jessica. What do you think will happen in this case, and what could happen if she wins her lawsuit? What do you think will be the ultimate finalization on this case?
Well, she is asking the New Mexico Attorney General to criminally investigate both SWO, the abortion provider, and the University of New Mexico. And they've actually been joined by the Congressional Select Panel on Infant Lives. They've also issued a criminal reference to the New Mexico Attorney General. So I hope that there will be an investigation. I don't know exactly what. I think just the desired outcome would be that maybe this will bring up the topic of this misinformation happening at abortion clinics. And, for people who are pro-life, the ultimate goal is that a woman doesn't choose abortion. But in our current culture, a small step in that direction would be that clinics and doctors, et cetera, are at least compelled to provide truthfully all the information, and not deceive women like this, and not tell them what's going to happen to their baby's body after abortion. So I think the main goal right here is just truth.
Absolutely. I want to thank Liberty McCarter from The Stream, a great writer, and thank you for coming on the program this morning, Liberty. And from our studio to you, we wish you a very Merry Christmas, and again, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, and Merry Christmas to you, too.
Thank you very much. Wow. I mean, some of these horrendous stories about abortion and mothers that just weren't told everything, it's so sad. It really is so sad. In our society, as I said a few moments ago, it just seems like we're losing the value of life. Little babies up to our senior citizens, we've lost our caring. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Ruby, my dog, is barking at something that I have no idea what she's barking about. She probably doesn't either. Don't forget, we're going to go with the weather right now. Scarrows Meats. Caller, I'm going to ask your indulgence. Can you wait on the phone 1 minute? I'll be right with you. Don't go away. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time. And they've got those special gift boxes for Christmas. Delicious meats. Oh, it's fantastic from Scarrows Meats. We'll tell you more in a minute. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Here is your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. We do have about a 90% chance of snow showers for today. It's going to be breezy as well. Winds out of the east, right around 15 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 27 for today. Tonight, low of 25 for tomorrow. Rain and snow showers are in the forecast. High right around 40, overnight low of 35. Then as we get on into the weekend, we've got some more snow showers as a possibility, especially up in the higher elevations. Highs are going to be in the upper 30s, lows in the mid-20s. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. And don't forget those gift boxes from Scarrows Meats. Man, that is a great gift-giving idea. Delicious meats. Oh, my goodness. They're changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time. Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Caller, thank you for your call. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Mr. Bell, I am just down from Boise today, and I just wanted to call up and wish you and your family and all your listeners the very merriest of the holiday season.
Well, God bless you, and it's really a treat, and I mean that, to hear your voice on the radio, and please be careful. Give us a little update on the roads. How is it out there on the highways?
The roads have been actually really good.
Okay. Well, I've got to take off after the program, and
they're clear all the way from Boise. I am about 8-9 miles out of Burley right now, and so far there has been no problem whatsoever.
All right. Well, listen, I extend to you the same, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year 2017. Don't make yourself a stranger. Call us more often. I'd appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate that, and I wanted to let you know that I picked up your program just as soon as I could get it.
Well, thank you, and the very best for 2017. Thank you.
Okay, same to you.
All right.
Talk to you later.
What a nice man. He used to call in almost every day on the program, and, you get to know these people not by their names so much, but by their voices, and always a very pleasant man. Thank you very much for the call. We've got a few moments, and if you'd like to call us and give us a thought on anything that we've talked about earlier this morning, during the break at 10 o'clock, I sat there and talked to my wife a few minutes about a taxpayer revolt in this country. I'm not kidding. I really am serious when I say this. Folks, we have got to pull the strings on the government wastage of our money or the illegal use of our money for illicit projects. By paying our taxes to possibly have much of that money go to federal input into sanctuary cities and also for the housing and the welfare to illegal aliens, we are actually aiding and abetting crime in this United States. And I'll stand toe-to-toe with any lawyer on that subject. So I'm really going to check into this, and I'm going to be talking to Crapo. I'm going to be talking to Rish. I'm going to let them know my own personal feelings about this as far as a taxpayer revolt, because we've got to clean this mess up. when you have the blatant attitude of Bill de Blasio in New York City and Rahm Emanuel from Chicago and many others like in San Francisco, etc., 300 sanctuary cities saying, we don't care. We don't care what the law is. We're going to go ahead and be a housing agent for illegality, and we don't care what you say. Well, in that case, then as a taxpayer, we should all say, okay, if you want us to pay our taxes, we are supporting crime by giving you this money in taxation. Until you clean up these cities, until you clean up the illegals in this country, no, we're not going to aid and abet crime. We're not going to support illegal attitudes in this country if they don't go by the law and the Constitution. That's my feeling. You can criticize me if you want to. But I think it's about time that we got Matt Dillon and Chester and Miss Kitty and Doc and everybody rides into town like old Gunsmoke, and we clean this mess up. And the best way to clean it up is withhold the money. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Oh, the IRS out there, I couldn't care less if they're listening. I'm 69 years old, and I'm not going to pull punches. I'm going to let you know how I feel about this, and I'm not going to back water to anybody. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And Deanne just gave me a little report outside our window. What is this I see falling down through the cracks of our sun deck? It looks like a lot of snow out there. And please drive carefully and make sure that you've got the best of traction tires for the snow, the ice, and the yuck and everything else. And you can get all those tires right there from your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire stores. Absolutely. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. They are the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with all your tires, all your tire change, your batteries, the best in brake service. They've done it all and will continue to keep doing it for you for safe driving. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Well, let's see what else have we got. I'd love to have a phone call or two. We've still got time. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Another quick reminder, we're going to be over at Denny's Restaurant next Thursday, a week from today, for an old-fashioned Christmas. Christmas the way it should be, with people getting together and laughing and enjoying a good meal, and there's going to be presents and prizes, great singers from Oakley High School Choir. I'm looking forward to that. And this is all going to be at America's Diner next Thursday on the 15th, and that's an old-fashioned Christmas. We will see you there. You know what, Wheels? Are you right there by your microphone? Hello, Wheels?
I am. Sorry. We actually, out my window in the studio by Minico, somebody actually got into an accident. A couple people did. So I was checking it out.
Okay, well, listen, I certainly hope it was not serious, but what I was going to ask you is, I would love if you could reach into your file right behind you and maybe put on a Christmas song. I'm in the mood with the snow falling and everything. What have you got for a good old Christmas song for us?
How is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by Muriel Haggard?
Muriel?
My bad, yeah.
Merle Haggard.
Had to help me.
I think Muriel was his great aunt that lived back in Chickasha, Oklahoma or something.
There you go. Yeah, so it's Merle Haggard.
Attaboy. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody and remember the way things were, the way things ought to be, and Wheels is going to play a little bit of Merle Haggard and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Go ahead, buddy. Thank you, and have a great weekend, everybody.